Dementia is difficult for anyone to understand, but it can be especially difficult for children to grasp. Hi, my name is Niki Gewirtz, and I'm a senior living expert at A Place for Mom. In the past, I've worked with families to help them understand and choose the best senior living options for a senior loved one. I've also been featured in some other videos from A Place for Mom, which you can find linked here and down below. When a loved one gets diagnosed with dementia, even if their symptoms were becoming more obvious over time, it can be really hard to come to terms with an official diagnosis. And it can be even more difficult for grandchildren to understand and cope with. Whether it's a small child or a teenager, explaining what dementia is and how it will affect their loved one can help them anticipate and prepare for those changes. It can also help them to really cherish those moments when their loved one is lucid or has moments where symptoms aren't as prominent. Explaining dementia to a child can feel pretty daunting, but really there isn't one right way to do it. It all comes down to meeting them where they are, being empathetic, and being transparent yet gentle. It's also not something I recommend doing in one day, but slowly over time. All that being said, let's get into the 5 steps for explaining memory loss to children. Step 1 is to start by explaining what dementia is. Dementia is a general term that describes a host of symptoms that affect the brain, ultimately affecting a loved one's memory and personality. For small children, it might be helpful to use a metaphor. You can tell them to imagine their loved one's brain as a tree, where all the leaves are memories. Dementia is kind of like autumn, and over time, each leaf or memory will change color, shape, and may even fall. For older children, you might explain the science side a bit more. You could explain to them that dementia is actually a state of cognitive decline caused by another condition, like Alzheimer's. Part of the brain responsible for memory, personality, emotions, and behaviors are affected and will have a major impact on someone. Step 2 is to help them identify and anticipate dementia symptoms. When explaining dementia to a child, pointing out the symptoms of dementia that are already present can really help them come to terms with things and understand how the disease is affecting their loved one. If the senior is experiencing sudden mood changes or forgetfulness, pointing out specific instances of those behaviors can provide some clarity for a child and set expectations for what to expect in the future. Dementia is progressive, meaning symptoms worsen over time. So it would also help to explain the symptoms to come so that they know what changes to anticipate. For a child, some of those symptoms of dementia can be scary, but if they have a better understanding of what to expect, you may be able to mitigate some of that surprise and fear. Step 3 is to remind them that their loved one is still the same person. Dementia isn't something that their loved one can control, and it's really important a child knows that. Even though they might be acting differently or forgetting things, they're still very much the same person who gave them those fond memories or experiences. Children can be really confused and even hurt when a loved one's symptoms cause them to forget things that are important, like their name or their birthday or other important memories. Letting a child know that their loved one is still the same person underneath it all can really help them cope with those changes. Step 4 is to invite them to ask questions and be curious. Dementia is a hard concept to grasp for anyone, no matter the age. Researchers themselves even struggle to fully understand all the aspects of dementia to this day. After learning of a dementia diagnosis, a child or teen might be filled with questions about a variety of different things. They may wonder about dementia itself, their loved one's symptoms, what to expect, where they will live, and more. Making them feel like you're a safe place to go when they're concerned, confused, or have questions will strengthen your relationship while also giving you opportunities to understand how they are coping. Lastly, step 5 of explaining memory loss to children is to keep the conversation ongoing. As time goes by, dementia will progress and a loved one's brain will gradually lose more and more function. Even if you've prepared someone for mid to late stage dementia symptoms, actually seeing them can bring on a host of emotions. It's important to keep checking in, encourage questions, and be supportive throughout the whole process. Coping with dementia isn't something you do one time, it's really something you do day by day. And I encourage you to keep that in mind for both yourself and anyone around you whose loved one is struggling with a diagnosis. I hope these steps give you a great starting point. And if you have any questions or advice for other caregivers, please drop those in the comments below. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more advice on caregiving, senior care, and tough conversations. You can also visit our website at aplaceformom.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.